It's Monday morning. Your phone rings, your top inspector is out for the week, and you got a hospital with an AHJ visit lined up. Nobody else on the crew knows the building. Nobody else has the relationship and the inspector at the city. Nobody else can pass that sign-off code. Sounds familiar? My name is Trey Young, and I run a consulting business that helps package how businesses think, decide, and operate so teams, tools, and AI agents can access them from anywhere. This video is for fire protection companies where too much of their operations lives in few key people's heads. I'm going to show you what that's quietly costing you every week and how you can fix it without adding more to your plate. And just to be clear, this is not about replacing your top people. They stay. They become even more valuable and your team just gets access to what they already know. Here's what most owners don't see because they're inside every day. There are 6 problems happening in your shop right now, and they are all coming from the same place. They stay with me for a minute because once you see what you don't, you can't unsee it, and I'll show you exactly how to fix it. 1, your senior inspector is the only one who can answer the hard questions, so he gets pulled in constantly. Real work slows down and everything starts to depend on him being available. 2, new hires take months to become fully productive, not because they're incapable, because the only way they learn is by riding along and picking up over time. Customers prefer the senior guy, so he keeps getting sent back out while the rest of the team never fully get the relationship. And when something comes up after hours, it funnels to 1 or 2 people because they're the only ones who knows what to do. Compliance starts to drift. Different trucks, different habits, different interpretations, and the gap compounds over time. And if that one person is unavailable at the wrong time, everything slows down fast. Not hypothetical, operationally. Same root cause for all 6. The knowledge that runs your shop lives in 1 or 2 heads and the rest of them can't access it. Why does this happen? It's not a people problem. It's how the trade was built. Fire protection is learned in the field. Ride along, watch, and repeat. That's how your best people became your best people. The challenge is what they know never really gets captured. And part of this lives in different systems. Part of it lives in conversations, and the other part, is important part, stays with the person who learned it. So even with good tools in place, there's no single place where the full picture lives. Not the nuances, not the decisions, not the judgment call. As the owner, you're sitting around with time to document everything. You can't, and you're keeping the business moving. So the business runs, but it relies on people, not something the business actually owns. So what do you do about it? You don't try to document everything, and you don't pull your senior people off the truck just so you can train all day. You capture how they think once and make it usable across the entire team. That's what we've built. We take the knowledge that runs your shop, the decisions, the edge cases, this depends moments, and we turn those into something your team can actually use in real time. So when a tech runs into something unfamiliar, they don't have to stop and call your senior guy. They can just work through it with the same logic you would use. Your senior people still do what they do best. They just stop being the only place the answers live, right? And when you do that, the impact shows up fast. So let me show you how we measure it. So I built a simple calculator to show you exactly what this actually looks like in minutes. So this is called a key person cost of calculator. Let's take a key person on your team. Let's call it the 3 inspector for an example. And we plug in that this person has been in the industry for about 22 years, probably making about 40 decisions a week that only he can handle, $25,000 of cost of a single bad call, and 60 customers relationship that he may be tied to, and definitely probably about 8 AHJ's jurisdiction he knows by memory. And he's gonna give us 2 numbers here. And first, what is the cost to replace him to walk out? In this case, it's gonna cost you $340,000 to replace him. $340,000. The second number, what it's costing you right now, is every year because everything runs through him. The interruptions, the slow ramp times, the bottlenecks, the dependency. And that number is usually the one that gets attention. Now, just to be clear, I want to make sure this is not about replacing your top people. Not at all. It's the opposite. It's about making what they know usable across the business so everything doesn't rely on them being available. Now, I'm going to show you this visually because once you see how it's actually structured, it's going to click really fast. So what does it actually look like to package this? We have worked with, let me show you who we worked with recently. And the company is called Cardinal Fire Protection. And we sat down with them in their senior inspection, and not to replace him, but to actually capture how he thinks in a way your whole team could actually use. And so what we end up doing is not just the customer details, but the building quirks, the procedures he runs, and how he actually handles AS cases, and what different AHJSs care about. Not just what they do, but how he actually decides. That actually got the organization to one place your team can actually use in real time. So when a tech runs into something unfamiliar, they don't have to actually stop and call him. They can actually work through using the same logic that he would actually do. So let me just share my screen. So what you're looking at right now is actually an example of their business brain. It allows us to basically monitor how well they're performing, what things still needs to be extracted, what things need to be packaged, and more important, what things are actually deployed. In red is the actual lead sales tech and how everything was actually tied to this individual. And office manager, field agents, and you get an understanding of the different departments that they represent, whether that be the pricing and inspections, whether that be customer accounts and building history, pipeline and renewals. And then more importantly, we can look at the compliance tool. All these things go hand in hand. So now it's not just having these informations in silos, it actually puts people in a better position. What you're looking at is how we help our clients stay connected and have this to be centralized everywhere. And we run playbooks that we can continue to execute their business. So whether they're in a business that relies on media buys, we automate that entire skill set where it now actually operates through the brain. And now there is people who have oversight. But then of course we have information that can be queried, where if we're trying to find information about a building and figure out how many violations that it had or would come close, we can basically just speak to it and actually grab that information and have it ready at our fingertips. So here's what starts to change in their particular business. First, interruptions drop completely. Apprentices have really became in a place before they would escalate everything. Now the senior tech gets pulled in less because now people you're training is having access to availability right there on the spot. Not to mention, second, ramp time shortens. So new hires don't have to learn everything the hard way. They get guided through real situations actually fast. The third thing that improves is consistency improves. Every tech walks in with context. Customers stop filling the gap between senior and what's actually new. The fourth thing that we also noticed by implementing a business brain is after hours pressure ease. So fewer calls depend on one person being available. The team has something to actually work from. The fifth thing was the compliance tighten up. Everyone was working from the same playbook. Less variation, fewer messes. And your senior tech, he became even more valuable because now what he knows doesn't just stays with him. So in real time, we're able to see things that are critical, things that are warning, things that are operating, and opportunities that make things health. We're actually able to see the health of their business. Right now, we are at 65% vital, and forget them over, which they'll be in the next quarter. We'll be putting them over in the 70 percentile, which is extremely healthy for them. We also have playbooks that's already set up in line for what they're going to be implementing in their particular business. The next sprint that we're going to be actually doing to making sure that all parties are involved and what growth opportunities that they currently have, whether that be renewals, possibly now this company who was thinking about shrinking is now putting themselves in a position to start focusing on acquisition, which is actually pretty strong. And then we can test all things that are active in their activities that are taking place when we actually have a business brain in place. See, when you're not in a position where your senior value asset in your business no longer becomes a bottleneck, he becomes a standard. This is where most organizations are moving to. And if this resonates, the next step is simple. we can map it out on your own business, who holds what knowledge, where things depend on one person, where things actually slow down. It's really a quick session and you'll see it clearly by the end of it. And whether you decide to do anything with it or not, you'll understand your operations completely different. And here's the bigger picture, because I know you're busy. The industry is shifting. Groups like Pi Parker, Fire and Safety, and Impact Fire Services are acquiring smaller shops, and they're not playing premium for trucks or equipment. They are paying for businesses that run without depending on one or two people. And whether the knowledge is organized or whether the operation holds together, even when someone steps away. So whether you're ever planning to sell or not, this still matters. And if you do sell, it's directly impact what the business is worth. If you don't, it determines how much the business depends on you day to day. So either way, it changes your position. And right now, you're early. Most shops haven't done this yet. The ones that do in the first won't look like this a few years from now. The calculator is in the description. You could take it's about 4 minutes. One of the things I want you to know, there's no opt-in for it. You don't gotta worry about no emails. Use it at your disposal. We want you to have as much information as you possibly can so you can see your business different. And run it on your own top person. Look at the numbers. If it raises questions, we can help you map it out in your business. Most of the cost, and I want you guys to remember this, most of the cost isn't when someone leaves. It's what happens while they still stay. So if this was helpful, definitely share and like, subscribe for more, and talk to you soon.